Good evening. Welcome to our first and hopefully last virtual Evening of Hope.
For those of you who don't know me, I get the pleasure of being Eva's mom.
And I have the pleasure of being Eva's sister. We would like to thank you for joining us in our efforts in raising money for a cure for Rett syndrome.
A huge thank you goes out to all of our supporters. We appreciate your generosity and thoughtfulness. This year marks a major milestone for us. We have been raising funds for Rett Research for 10 years. In that time, we have raised over $1.5 million. We are grateful for those who have been with us since 2010 and thankful for those just joining us for the first time. This year, we've teamed up and joined forces with other local Rett families who have the same hopes and wishes that we have, and that is to make Rett syndrome disappear. Skylar's family, Amanda and James Hurley, Gabriella's mom, Paula Southern, Nora's family, Helen and Kenny Lynch, Dominique's family, Paul and Anna Eastep, Danny's family, Darren and Rose Marie Swoboda, Gracie's family, Amanda and Chris Cope, Mabel's family, Cindy and Joe Tagney, and Shannon's family, Brett and Emily Knight, along with Shannon's mom, Martha Sharp. We all have a lot in common. We struggle every day with the acceptance of what Rett syndrome has done to our girls. We have been through similar feelings such as bewilderment of why this has happened, learning about Rett syndrome, being tested over and over, feeling frustrated, scared, and tired. We have all experienced the devastating regression from a typical child due to Rett syndrome, and unfortunately for some, the mourning for the loss of their daughter.
You see, our girls live with a level of disability that is staggering. Loss of functional use of their hands, inability to talk, breathing issues, scoliosis, reflux, apraxia, feeding tubes, difficulty or inability to walk, long QT syndrome, and tremors. They are trapped inside a body that doesn't work and are dependent on every task of their lives. They rely on us for all self-care needs. They have one-on-one care at school and an ongoing rotation of physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. They are 100% dependent every day, all day. COVID has negatively impacted everyone's lives this year. But thankfully, it has not slowed the incredible progress that researchers are making towards finding a cure for Rett syndrome. The confidence in the science and research community that Rett syndrome is curable fuels this progress. Our families are encouraged and hopeful by these developments for the day that our daughters living with this condition are free from Rett syndrome. Thank you for helping us get closer.
As parents, we have embraced all the challenges that Rett brings on. We are equipped mentally and physically to handle Rett. We have each other as Rett parents. We have support from friends and family and caregivers to stand by us. We are grateful and blessed. We share this brutal description of Rett syndrome not to make everyone sad, but to talk about reality. We raise money for Rett Research in an attempt to make a better life for Eva, Skylar, Gabriella, Nora, Dominique, Danny, Gracie, Mabel, Shannon, and all of the others who suffer from this disorder. As parents, we accept the present, we celebrate the now, but we want much more for our girls and look forward to all that Rett Syndrome Research will achieve and what is in store for the future. The possibility of a cure is real, and we undoubtedly believe it is not if, but when.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Monica Coonrads, founder and CEO of the Rett Syndrome Research Trust, and mom to Chelsea, a young woman with Rett syndrome. My promise to all of our supporters is that your donations are used with the utmost integrity and efficiency to advance us to a cure for Rett syndrome. I've always made it a priority for RSRT to spend maximum dollars on what matters, the research. Since RSRT was founded, we've averaged 95% of our funding going to our research program. I want to give you a sense of the big picture on Rett Research. Last year, we successfully completed our 3-year, $33 million strategic research plan, Roadmap to a Cure. We achieved exactly what we set out to do, significantly advancing 6 priority approaches that target the root cause of Rett syndrome. Those 6 approaches are gene therapy, gene editing, MECP2 reactivation, RNA editing, RNA transplicing, and protein replacement. These approaches are not meant to be palliative. They're bold and they're targeted, and they're intended to result in a profound reversal of symptoms. Our progress has brought us to an exciting new phase of the research called Cure 360, reflecting the fact that we have Rett surrounded and that we're attacking from all angles. Through Cure 360, we're accelerating the 6 approaches while simultaneously ensuring that the research incubated at RSRT moves into biopharma. This is a critical step for propelling lab science to clinical trials and to changing the lives of those who suffer with Rett. Of our approaches, gene therapy is the closest to the clinic. Novartis, the second largest pharma company in the world, expects to launch a clinical trial in gene therapy for Rett soon. A second biopharma company, Taysha Gene Therapies, also has a Rett program and anticipates filing a clinical trial application with the FDA this year. Gene therapy is an approach that we've championed and moved forward at RSRT for over a decade. Novartis and Taysha and other biopharmas I expect will jump into the Rett space would not be developing clinical trials without data that was generated by RSRT-supported researchers. That's a testament to how your generous past support has had a palpable impact. We're also funding 2 other critical gene therapy programs, one at UPenn and the other at the University of Edinburgh. As these programs move forward, they will likely partner with biopharma as well. On a personal note, my daughter Chelsea is now 24 years old. If not for Rett syndrome, she would be starting a career and enjoying an active social life like others her age. Instead, she's at home, struggling with the worst of Rett: seizures, scoliosis, anxiety, extreme muscle rigidity. And this is on top of never being able to take a step on her own or say a word. I made her a promise that I won't rest until this disorder is cured. And it's a promise I don't intend to break. 350,000 lives are depending on us, on you. Thank you so much for helping us.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim Freeman, Chief Development Officer of the Rett Syndrome Research Trust, and I'm also the very proud father of a 12-year-old daughter with Rett syndrome. I usually attend this event with you. I so wish we could be together in person, but we know that a virtual event is the safest and smartest way to go this year, and we can all still make a really big difference to this research by supporting Virtual Evening of Hope. I could never ever thank Al and Amy Feeney enough for their incredible dedication to RSRT and to helping us advance the research. I know they do all they do out of love for Eva and because they want to change not only her life, but the lives of every child and adult with Rett syndrome. They are exemplary parents, and their commitment to pushing this research ahead is truly inspiring. This year, we also have 8 other Rett families on the committee. The Copes, the Esteps, the Hurleys, the Knights, the Lynches, the Southrons, the Swobodas, and the Tagneys. It's just so great to have all of you involved and taking action. I want to also thank several especially generous sponsors this year. At the $2,500 Eva's Knights level, Hill and Dale Abstractors and Mediacom Communications. At the $5,000 Eva's Heroes level, Builders First Source, David Heil, Mercurio Norton Tiroli Marshall, and Orange Bank and Trust. And at the exceptionally generous $10,000 event sponsorship level, Kathy and Tony Statuto. Thank you so much to every sponsor and supporter for sharing our sense of urgency. We simply could not do this research without you, and we are tremendously grateful to you. Thank you.
you.